Good evening, everyone, and welcome to New England Outdoor Life. One of our first episodes that we're doing live in the outdoors, and we're here on lake in central Vermont. Andy and I out doing a little bass fishing tonight. Middle of turkey season, a lot of folks have been out, hit the woods. I myself have yet to put my tag on a bird. I'm happy to say a lot of my friends and family have. My son is doubled out in Vermont, and now I already got a bird in New York. I've been guiding more than turkey hunting and on the water quite a bit. So tonight we're going to talk about a little bit of tips and tactics. Our last tips and tactics video was on spring trout and salmon trolling, which we are actively doing right now. I actually did a trolling trip on Lake Champlain this morning. We did 7 salmon bites and a half dozen lake trout bites. Those fish are starting to transition out of the normal cold water spring areas as the water is starting to warm. So the bass are doing the same thing. And we have been doing bass trips as well. And tonight we're going to talk about spring tactics, pre-spawn, and what the baits have been working for us lately. I've done 3 trips on Lake Champlain since May 1st. Obviously, it's all catch and release right now. But I'm going to go through the baits that have been working for us. Tonight we threw all of these. On this lake, we are finding some water temperatures in the mid to high 50s. And that is key to when we start seeing particularly smallmouths on beds. Your largies will be going on beds as well. Most of the places I fish in Champlain have not seen fish on beds yet. They are certainly pre-spawn, cruising and looking for food. And water temperature has been everything. Again, trying to find water temps 52 to 55 has been key. One creek that I went up in last week did find 58-degree water. So, you know, again, finding that warm water is going to be key to where these bass are going to be congregated, and they were in groups. So when you found one, you usually found a half dozen or more in these areas that could be no more than a couple of acres that you would find water temps that were comfortable. A lot of the main lake was still 47 to 50 degrees, and that's not where we were finding the fish.
How's it going, everyone? This is Sean from Real Northern Bass, and I'm excited to help announce that the New England Angler Challenge has launched and is well underway for any angler that is interested in participating in a summer-long virtual fishing tournament across all of New England freshwater. Before I give you a few more details on this virtual tournament, a little bit more information about me and how I am hoping I can help you all become more successful out there in the water as you go through this virtual tournament for the entire summer. I have a YouTube channel called Real Northern Bass, and the entire premise of what I do on my channel is to share all the information that I've learned over the years at various times of the year to hopefully help other New England anglers better understand what makes our region special. I myself am from New Hampshire, and I absolutely love fishing in all of New England. And with all these adventures that I take myself on to all the different states across the entirety of New England, I film a lot and I share a lot of the knowledge I've learned along the way and do my best to explain it in a number of different ways to help other people become better anglers. I have a lot of content from the last many years that I really think is going to help you if you are a relatively new angler and you're looking for a leg up while also participating in something that's great and has a lot of great prizes to allow you to scratch that competitive itch that you have. Which brings us back to the New England Angler Challenge. This is a phenomenal online tournament because it's not just bass fishing. It's going to allow you to be able to target both largemouth and smallmouth bass, lake trout, brown trout, and northern pike, all for your shot at $2,000 in cash prizes, as well as 4 premium fishing charters that are going to be up for grabs throughout the season, and tons of other prizes. If you're interested in joining in, it's incredibly easy. Head over to neangler.com or check the show notes and descriptions for a link. If you want to help me out a little bit as well, since I'm helping you out with my channel, you can use the neangler.com/RNB and use that to sign up as well. However you want to do it, doesn't matter. It's very easy to get started. Once you've gone onto the website and you've entered your name and email and phone number and you've selected your tournament type, from there you will find more information about how to proceed with the tournament for the rest of the year and all the rules that come with it in order to make sure that your catches are valid. I strongly encourage you to check this out, as the gentlemen at New England Outdoor Life have done a phenomenal job of putting this together, and they're just really good people too, so I know they're going to run a really, really good tournament. If you want to learn a little bit more about fishing in general and maybe me, by all means, please, I encourage you to come over and check out my YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/@realnorthernbass. And every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, I also do a live stream either alone or with a bunch of friends and even some professional anglers throughout the industry that come on and we talk about a bunch of different techniques that are applicable to that very specific time of the year. So as your summer goes on, there's a lot of new information that can be learned that we are just willingly, helpingly, lovingly sharing free of charge for people to come and listen to and hopefully make you a better angler as well. With all that said, thank you very much for your time. I really hope you enjoy the New England Angler Challenge, and good luck to all those anglers that are participating.
The jerkbait is one of those lures that is obviously very popular with spring fishing, and there is a multitude on the market, and obviously whatever your favorite bait is. I am very much a proponent of Rapalas. This is a Rapala Shadow Wrap. This particular color has been very good for me this spring. It's called the Bone color. It's got a light yellow bottom, white top. But obviously that cadence in using jerkbaits is very key. When you're in colder water, 50 degrees and under, a very slow cadence is working it in that jerking motion. A lot of people that are new to it don't realize that you don't want to be reeling it. It's a very sharp snap jerking motion. Let it pause. With the colder water, sometimes pausing it 4 to 6 seconds before jerking again. As that water is warming, we're jerking it a little bit more quicker, 2 to 3 seconds in between each. So, again, a lot of fish have come on jerkbaits.
In fact, just a pike.
Yeah, tonight we've had bites here on this lake. Did get a couple of pike on. The jerkbait will work for pike pretty much year round. But certainly with bass fishing, you'll find that the jerkbait is better in spring and in fall. You can throw it any time, but I certainly like it when those water temps are conducive for it. The next bait that you certainly can move throughout pre-spawn, spawn, and into post-spawn is the swim bait. And this is just a regular style swim head with a Keitech on the back. I love Keitechs. Any paddle tail will work. This particular color called Bluegill Flash in gin clear water I find to be super productive. Obviously a very natural bait fish pattern. But a 3/8 to 1/4 ounce basic swim head is all you need. Again, catching largemouths and smallmouths. Covering a lot of water. Just a slow, steady cadence with it. And letting it swim through active areas. And once we found fish, we were able to get these guys to work as well. It seemed like the jerkbait, as far as a feeding bait, was better than the swim bait, but we caught fish on it as well. Once the fish are on beds, if you have conditions that you can't actively see fish on beds, if you've got a general idea where the beds are at, this is also a good bait that you can slow crawl through it. And obviously, especially smallies, when they're protecting their nests, if they think there's a small fish like a bluegill or whatever that's going to be an egg robber, the swim bait is definitely a go-to bait. Once the sun got up and the days that it was flat calm like we have on this lake tonight, we were going to more finesse tactics and working baits much slower across the bottom. In the last 5 to 6 years, the Ned rig has become super popular. And you can put just about any bait on a Ned head. This is a 1/4 ounce Ned head. And fresh baits, Hellgramite has been super productive for me. Obviously in black, green pumpkin, watermelon fleck, anything like that. But this black has been super productive for us. Any place that we found good rocky bottom that had a lot of gravel and not big timber. Obviously, it's an exposed hook. It's not a weedless system. You can get weedless Ned heads. I prefer not to use them, but again, throwing around docks, any place that you think there's going to be fish under cover. But the Ned rig, obviously, is a producer and is super simple and easy to learn. So for me, guiding a lot of times when we've got folks that don't have a lot of background, the Ned rig is a good go-to bait. Last but not least, 1/4 ounce football head with a good old hula grub on it. And as I'm bouncing around here, the hula grub, again, slow crawling it, working across the bottom. You can work a multitude of different style baits. I find the basic hula grub without all the tentacles on it, just the two legs kicking. And as we move it across the bottom, it's literally lift the rod tip, twitch and crawl, and twitch and crawl. And we took a lot of bass on this. Again, mainly smallmouths, a couple largemouths, but this has been a super productive bait. And again, post-spawn and spawn, it will be a producer as well. For me personally, I like throwing Ned rigs onto bedded fish and working that around their active nesting areas. When those smallies are really guarding their beds, the Ned rig is a hard one to beat because it's pretty much an instant hookup. We caught fish tonight on the Ned rig working around beds. This is the first place that I have found fish on nests. By the time this goes to air next week, we're going to be into the third week of May. Guarantee if your body of water has got water temps that's up in the mid 50s to 60 degrees, you should be having some fish on beds. So it's certainly that time of year. For Champlain, my favorite time around that spawn, it tends to be last 10 days of May into the first 10 days of June, and it should be game on. Obviously, fighting the weather. We are having more traditional spring weather the last 2 to 3 days. We've had temps in the 70s, and obviously water temps are warming up very quickly. Forecast says next 3-4 days of back to that rainy, dreary 55 to 60 degree. So I don't think we're going to see a drastic spawn happen very quick. Last year we did. Everything warmed up fast. So I think it's going to be gradual. Our fishing this year, of all the species that I cover, has been more gradual. Our trout and salmon trolling is, like I said, is just starting to transition. The salmon were really grouped up in one pocket of warm water in southern Champlain, and they're now starting to spread out. So we're going to continue offering in my charter business both trolling trips and our bass and pike trips in the next 4 to 5 weeks before I transition to all jigging for lake trout for the summertime. But give any of these baits a try. None of them are any big secrets, but this is that time of year where you should be able to start finding fish on beds and do your homework, look in your local body of water. And if you've got the right conditions for bed fishing, I prefer flat calm and a nice high sun where I got good polarized glasses. I can penetrate through that glare and be able to see the fish on the beds. But if you got a general idea where the beds are and you got a ripple and you can't see them, working that Keitech through on a swim head will produce as well. So I'm actually off tomorrow. I'm gonna, by the time this airs, be long past it. I'm gonna do a little turkey hunting and the 3 more days of chartering. So it's that time of year where there's all kinds of things going on to get in the outdoors. But we're gonna have more stuff coming, obviously, approaching that time of year where there's all kinds of fishing topics. We're gonna have an evening talking about fly fishing for trout. Gonna have one of our biologists from the State Fish and Wildlife here in Vermont. Also, hopefully going to be having a representative from Lake Champlain International and talking about the upcoming LCI Derby, which is Father's Day weekend on Lake Champlain. And then a lot of folks from all over New England come to the LCI Derby. So thanks for tuning in to New England Outdoor Life. And hopefully we're going to have new tips and tactics around the fishing business throughout the summertime as we transition to other things. But stay tuned and thanks for listening.
Hey there, thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to head over to newenglandoutdoorlife.com to sign up for our mailing list. And while you're at it, check out thirdalarmcharters.com. That's third with the number 3. Have a great week, and we'll see you outdoors.